So externally provided workers, or EPWs, are, well, the best way to describe them are pseudo-employees is what I would use, is where they are agency workers or possibly other employees of another company that are supplied to you at a cost, could be an hourly rate, daily rate, etc. But they are working under your direction, much like an employee. But they are paid by a third party. So they invoice you and you pay them, and then they pay the employee. So there must be some sort of evidence of PAYE for the third party. So obviously it needs to be a limited company at least to be able to do this. So if someone is provided their time via a limited company and they've got some evidence of PAYE at their end, then that's allowable as a externally provided worker. So this is where you have, I've seen it a few times where people believe that they've got subcontract, they believe they have eligible people, but unfortunately they're self-employed working on site. They're just operating machines, but they're just self-employed individuals. That's not allowable because they're just providing a service as a subcontractor. It's a little bit of a strange one for people to get your head around slightly, but that's the nature of what an EPW is. So again, you can have this situation where you believe someone's an EPW. They're trading gas, but you've been trading for a long time with them. You've sort of got into your head that they're a third-party company, they're a limited company. But on closer investigation, you've suddenly discovered that you've been including them in the claim, but they're not. They're just a trading gas individual, a self-employed person. So they have to be removed from the claim. They're not allowable. Also, what's interesting with EPWs, you can include the expenses that the individual has incurred and then charged to the third party, which they'll obviously charge the claimant company. However, you do need to prove that those expenses have been reimbursed back to the EPW person. So in that instance, a third party would charge you expenses for their providing that labour, but they would need to provide evidence that the expenses that they've charged the claimant company, they've actually reimbursed back to their employee. So again, if you cannot prove that, or if you cannot find that, the best thing to do is to remove those costs from the invoices. So just look at the invoices, which is what we do. We check the invoices for EPWs just to ensure that if there are expenses on there, can we have a trail that says they were paid back to the individual? So that again it's a due diligence thing where we must check the invoices. And again, as part of our service, this is what we do. We come in to your office, we go through your invoices, double check everything, make sure we're happy that the correct values are on the invoices that we can include, and then we put that into the claim. So yeah, EPWs, quite a difficult one sometimes to get your head around, but again, if in doubt, you need to speak to your agent to make sure that you're including them in the correct way.